The end of the year is a good time to reflect on what really matters. Things like family, things like service to this country. Tom Brokaw is here this morning, along with a family from his South Dakota hometown with whom he shares a very special connection. We're going to talk to you and talk to them in just a moment. But first, their story.
Corey and Jenny Brees have come to New York for some holiday sightseeing. But more important, they're here to fulfill a Christmas wish of their children, Kylie and Connor. They wanted to see the 9/11 Memorial and Museum.
This wall, it didn't breach, and so it became a symbol of strength and resilience.
The reminder of that horrendous day when America was attacked.
All 11 responding members, 11 were killed in the collapse of the North Tower.
The attack that launched America into a war that is still underway. The war that almost killed their father. Corey and his National Guard outfit from Yankton, South Dakota were hit by an IED. 3 of his friends were killed. That was 12 years ago, and 3 long hospital stays. His wife Jenny would not give up. She got him home, damaged but alive. Their hometown pitched in to build a house to accommodate his wounded body. Jenny constantly nourished their love and marriage. They renewed their vows on a Hawaiian beach. The 3 of us appeared on Oprah to remind everyone that those who survive but return home wounded, for them, the struggle never ends. Where were you that morning?
Corey was at work that morning, and I remember him saying, I just called the guard armory right away saying, what can I do? What do I need to be? What can I do to help? This
trip with Kylie and Connor is part of that constant renewal to understand his sacrifice.
Why is it so important for you to bring your family here to do this?
This is, Dad was injured fighting for our country because of terrorists who caused all of this.
And you're living with the consequences of what happened.
Yeah, this is, a huge part of their life.
This is where they wanted
to be.
That's great. You got a heck of a family, Corey.
And to remember the sacrifices of so many on 9/11 and thereafter.
Craig, I've stayed in touch with this family in part because they're emblematic of so many families across the country. I think that we forget that more than 60,000 wounded veterans have come back. And some of those who came back well later developed PTSD. And they're kind of a hidden part of American life. And we have to keep reminding of everyone the sacrifices that they've made because they're considerable.
I know that the Brees family is from your hometown, but there's also another connection between you and the family as well. What's that?
Well, when he went to Iraq, they were living in a house that my father built, and it was a house that I used to visit in those days. But it was too small. There were too many steps to get up and down. So the community pitched in and built him a house that is much easier for him to get around in, and also got him a car so they could do things. So community by community across the country, people have to step up and help these veterans because in too many instances, they're too far away from a VA hospital or a facility that can help them through the day-to-day facilities.
We're delighted to have the Brees family with us this morning, Corey and Jennifer and Kylie and Connor. Let me start with you. I know it's been 12 years now since your life changed forever. What has that time been like for you?
Well, I think it's gone fast and gone slow at the same time. We always say, this is our new normal, and we just started going day by day, and we kind of still just go day by day, whatever the day brings us, and we do.
Has it gotten easier?
Has it gotten easier? Yes and no. Yes with his injuries, no with their schedules.
Exactly.
Kylie, I know that you guys visited the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. How was that for you?
I just think it shows that this time of the world, there's no time where there's not war. And that's all I've known. I haven't had a time in my life where there's not a war going on somewhere, someplace.
Was there part of the museum that impacted you more than other parts?
Seeing the last wall, just standing there alone with all the different police force and the firefighter, it really hits you.
Jenny, how about you? How was the experience?
Well, I must say that about this family, they were so typical of the families who were out there, Craig. They really get through life day by day. And what happens in too many communities, and this happened in Yankton as well, some of his earlier friends could no longer come around because they said it was too hard for them. I say, too hard for them? Come on. But they've made a whole army of new friends since then. And they do a lot of things with other wounded families that are going to the mountains and having retreats and so on, because you can identify with them, right?
Yep. And that's, one of the nice thing is the friends that we have made through the Wounded Warrior Project and other Wounded Warriors is they understand what's going on. We don't need to tell our story. We don't need to say anything. We can say we had a bad day, and they understand it, and they connect with Corey on, not just that brotherly bond, but also that injured.
We were in an audience together in South Dakota, and I didn't expect to see him there. So I said, "How's it going?" He was out in the middle of the audience, and he said, "It's going really well." He said it through Jenny. He said, "I can pick out cool girls and hot cars."
Connor, how about you? What are you into these days?
Just mainly sports, and that's mainly it.
This is a big NFL family, I'm going to tell you.
Uh-oh, who's the team?
Kyle is the only one in South Dakota who is a Houston Texans fan.
How did that happen?
Well, they'll be proud to know that. Anyhow, they gather on Sundays, and that's the way that they stay together as well. But we wanted them to be here in part because we wanted the rest of the country to know that this goes on in so many families in so many places. And this family has been so brave and so enterprising in how they've dealt with it.
The bravest in America. Yeah. Thank you so much for your service, Corey. And thank you so much to the Brees family as well for being such a shining example. Mr. Brokaw, always good to have you. Thank you for sharing this.
Great to be here.